is up, guys? EJ here, back with another video. And today it's going to be something a little different. I was planning on doing a DVD collection video today, but instead I decided to do a review of the new James Bond movie, Skyfall. My man Preston, aka Magic Hour Movie Man, his link will be in the description below. Left a comment on my last DVD collection video saying that if I didn't do a review of Skyfall, there would be consequences. So I'm gonna do one for you today. I saw the film today and had time to think about it and get my thoughts together, and so I'm gonna give you guys a pretty detailed review. It's gonna contain spoilers, obviously. You can't really talk about this movie without talking about spoilers. But before I get started on the review, check it out. I've got my 007 t-shirt. And a couple of weeks ago, my sister, she went down to LA on business and to Sony Studios, in fact, who released Skyfall. And she bought me this cool 007 hat. And she also bought me this badass Skyfall mug, coffee mug that I've been drinking out of ever since. It's kind of replaced my Frank Lampard Chelsea mug, because I drink coffee all the time, and it's a really nice mug. So yes, Skyfall, directed by Sam Mendes. Prior to this film coming out, the only things I know about it were that Sam Mendes was the director and Adele did the title song. So my anticipation for this movie was pretty huge, and ahead of that, I've been watching all of the James Bond films. I do it every year. I watch all the Bond movies, and this year I timed it so that I'd watch them all before I saw Skyfall today. And last night I watched Quantum of Solace. And today, obviously, I went to see Skyfall. I saw it in the XD theater that Century Theaters has. It's not exactly IMAX, but it's like their large, really loud theater. So that was cool. So yeah, heading in, I didn't really know anything about it. Just the director and who did the song, of course. I hadn't even listened to the whole song the whole way through yet. I wanted pretty much everything to be fresh. So the movie starts out with a great sequence, a chase sequence that takes place in Istanbul, Turkey. We see Daniel Craig and one of the Turkey agents for MI6, played by Naomie Harris. Her name is Eve, and they're chasing this guy through the streets of Turkey. There's this great sort of bike chase and jeeps, and it ends up on a train. Bond uses this sort of digging machine, crane thing. It's just a digger, I guess you call it. That's a badass sequence, and the end of that sequence ends very surprisingly. This is a major spoiler. Bond gets apparently killed. Eve is there to protect him, and she has a shot while Bond and this guy are fighting on top of the train, and M tells her to take the shot, and she inadvertently shoots Bond in the chest, sort of the high shoulder area, and he falls off the train, off a bridge into the water, and is presumed dead. And then the film launches into the opening credit sequence, of course, with the great song by Adele. I really like the song. I've been listening to it ever since I bought the song today. I hadn't even bought the song until today. So yeah, I've listened to it a number of times, and obviously it's playing now. It's sort of a throwback to the old songs of Shirley Bassey, the likes of Goldfinger, Moonraker, and Diamonds Are Forever. And to be honest, Diamonds Are Forever and Moonraker aren't exactly my favorite songs in the Bond canon, but it's in that sort of style, and I don't need to tell you guys how awesome Adele is. the past 2 years for her have been great. Her follow-up to 1921 was probably the best album of last year, and of course she did a great job with this song. So yeah, after that the film sort of starts off in London in the UK. M and her partner Tanner, always a good character. I always like the interactions with Tanner in the past few movies. They're heading back to MI6 headquarters. Bond is presumed dead at this point still. She's sort of writing his obituary, and but on their way back they get stuck sort of in traffic, and MI6 headquarters gets blown up. Her office, there's a big explosion while they're standing on a bridge looking at it, and Judi Dench, who's amazing in this film by the way, she vows to find out the people who carried out this bombing. Eventually Bond comes back, sort of appears out of the blue in her house. It's kind of funny because in Casino Royale there's a moment where Bond shows up at M's house unannounced, and at the end of that scene she says, "Bond, don't ever break into my house again," and he does it here again. But he's back from the dead, and M sends Bond off to find the people responsible for this terrorist attack. So yeah, Bond goes off to Shanghai in pursuit of the same guy he was chasing in Turkey, in Istanbul, because he has stolen a list, a sort of a key card list that has all the list of all the NATO agents sort of undercover in terrorist cells around the world. So it's a very important list, of course. If this list gets out, it will blow all the covers of these agents. So he follows the guy to Shanghai. He's there to do a job. He's there to assassinate somebody. And there's this great sequence in Shanghai. It takes place at night. The colors and the shapes of this sequence is just awesome. He follows him up this big building, and they have this big fight right after the guy has been assassinated. It's all sort of in silhouette, so it looks really awesome, and Bond kills the guy. He falls down, and across the way, the person where the guy got assassinated, we see sort of the unofficial Bond girl of the movie, and her name is Severin, something like that, played by Berenice Marlohe, unknown actress as far as I know, but she's very beautiful looking, and we're not really quite sure about her at first because she seems to have set up this sort of assassination. We kind of think she's sort of a bad girl. But Bond manages to find her, follows her to Macau, which I believe is the other side of Hong Kong harbor. That's good. The Man with the Golden Gun knowledge, because part of that movie takes place in Macau. So he goes to Macau in search of this girl. Basically, he finds a coin, a chip, to lead him to this casino. This is a great set too. Again at night, and it's all lit up by all these like floating candles and stuff. It's this really cool looking place, this great casino that he and Eve, Naomie Harris's character, go into. So this casino, and they follow the girl there, the chip that leads them there, and it's surrounded by these sort of Komodo dragons, I believe is the animal. It's those like sort of big lizards that are somehow related to the dinosaurs, I believe. I could be wrong about that. Anyway, there's a great fight sequence that happens around that. But yeah, he meets the girl, and he sort of figures out that she's not really what she seems. She's surrounded by bodyguards, but he quickly figures out that they're not protecting her, they're guarding her against her will. She's somehow been captured. So he basically wants her to take him to her employer, or whoever's captured her, and that is of course Javier Bardem plays a character called Silva. Um, so yeah, he gets her to take him to this island where Silva is. They go on this boat and they go off to this island, another island sort of destination, and it's a very cool looking. It's like an abandoned chemical plant, and it sort of has a town around it. It's kind of remind me of something out of like scenes from Chernobyl. All the houses are all like hollowed out, almost like a bomb went off, but it's completely abandoned. It's a great looking set, and that's when we first meet Javier Bardem's character, um, yeah, Silva, and he tells this great story when we first meet him about rats on an island, as he confronts Bond for the first time, and then there's this really funny scene. Well, it's not funny, but it's kind of interesting. It's sort of out of a William Tell story. He challenges Bond to shoot off a glass of whiskey off the girl's head with this sort of old handgun. It's not even a modern handgun. And but prior to this, after Bond came back from his absence, Bond had to go through all these tests, sort of physical and mental tests to see if he's fit for service, and he fails them miserably. But M puts him back in the service anyway. And in one of the scenes, we see him on the shooting range, and he misses the target like all over the place. He even like walks up to almost point blank range to shoot this target, and he like completely misses it. So his nerves are kind of shot. So when he attempts to shoot the glass off the woman's head, he fails, and then Bardem takes his shot, and I won't go into what happens because of that. But anyway, during this time, Bond has a little like radio tracking device on him, and his colleagues swoop in on helicopters and manage to capture Javier Bardem at this point, and he is the one responsible for this the bombing that went on in MI6. So they take Bardem back to London as prisoner. Very interesting scene when he's in his cell. Kind of reminded me of X-Men in a way. The scene where we see Magneto in the plastic prison in, I believe it's X2. It sort of reminded me of that for some reason. And we sort of find out the backstory of Javier Bardem at this point. He actually used to be an MI6 operative working in Hong Kong, and we also find out more about Judi Dench. Prior to her becoming sort of head of MI6, she used to work in the Hong Kong office, and Bardem was one of her agents. But in a twist of fate, she gave him up after he got captured or something, and as all agents are trained to do, sort of commit suicide by taking a cyanide pill. And he tells a story about his cyanide pill in the back of his mouth, this capsule, but it doesn't work. It doesn't kill him, and it completely messes up his whole mouth. He at one point he takes out his whole like jaw, and all his teeth are messed up, and like part of his cheek is all caved in. It's a really creepy looking moment, but it's a really great moment. So basically, Javier Bardem is out for revenge against M, Judi Dench's character, because she burned him a long time ago. Sort of a Goldeneye type of thing. I mean, Sean Bean, Alec Trevelyan was a former 00, and he's taking revenge for the death of his parents on MI6 in that film. So it kind of reminded me of that movie. And also this whole list of NATO operatives that has been blown, that has been stolen, is now being leaked out onto the internet. There's almost like a YouTube video of one of the agents getting executed. So yeah, that's sort of the driving plot line of the movie. And meanwhile, because of this this leakage of MI6 and the way stuff is being handled, M is sort of being forced into early retirement. She even goes on trial um, for sort of the mishandling of British intelligence, if you like. Um, so yeah, while she's on trial, Javier Bardem manages to escape the prison, and this has been all part of his plan. It was part of his plan to get captured, all that type of stuff. And they go through his computer files, and part of his plan was to sort of set up security and all kinds of stuff using his computer, and the sort of facilitates his escape and all that type of stuff. So while the trial is going on, Bardem makes his way in the underground of London to this the courtroom scene, and this is one of the best scenes in the movie. Bond is pursuing him as well at the time, and he's getting help from Q, the new Q character, the new quartermaster played by Ben Whishaw, one of my favorite characters in the movie. This is kind of one of the main reasons I'm not a huge fan of the prior two Daniel Craig Bond films, is the absence of a proper Q, and because Q is one of my favorite characters in the Bond legacy. Desmond Llewellyn was one of the best characters in Bond history, in my opinion. So yeah, Javier Bardem makes his way to the courthouse. He's there to attack this courtroom scene and kill Judi Dench, and he comes in guns blazing, and Judi Dench is giving a great speech in the middle of this trial, and but Bond comes in to save the day. He saves them. He saves all the judges, and he takes off with M to go up north, to go to Scotland to save her and use her as bait to trap Javier Bardem, because up until this point, Bardem's character has been ahead of the game the entire time, and this is sort of the way that MI6 and Bond can trap him, because they sort of leave a trail for only Bardem to follow. It's kind of simple. They drive up to Scotland, but at one point on their way up there, they switch cars, and the car he switches into is the old silver Aston Martin DB5, which is a great moment, which really sort of made me smile. But they go up to Scotland, and the scenes in the old Scottish house is like an abandoned farmhouse in the middle of nowhere. Really sort of these are just amazing moments in the movie, because we find out a lot more about James Bond as a child. We're introduced to a new character called Kincaid, played by Albert Finney, who was sort of the caretaker of James Bond as a child. We find out more about his parents and the name of his childhood home, which happens to be the title of the movie, Skyfall. That's not really giving anything away. It's a spoiler filled review, I'm sorry, but there you go. So yeah, there's this big shootout. Bardem and his crew go up to Scotland to kill Judi Dench, and the whole last half hour of the film is just stunning and really quite sad and tragic. And yeah, the most amazing thing I thought about this film is that Judi Dench is the Bond girl of Skyfall. As crazy and kooky as that is, probably sounds, she really is the official Bond girl of this movie. Naomie Harris isn't. She's a even cooler character, which I'll talk about a little bit. Yeah, just hearing her last name sort of brought a huge smile to my face at the end of the movie, for obvious reasons. I also should mention Ralph Fiennes. Ralph Fiennes is sort of Judi Dench's new superior in the Ministry of Defense. His name is Marlohe. He's sort of the one trying to force her into early retirement. There's some great scenes with him and Judi Dench. But yeah, Judi Dench is the Bond girl in Skyfall. That's the only way I'm gonna say it. She's great in this movie. I think it's Oscar worthy. She should be up for Best Supporting Actress. No doubt in my mind that that should be the case. This is the best film I've seen this year, in my opinion. It's a 10 out of 10 for me. I don't give many 10s out of 10s. If you, well, definitely not recently. Yeah, it's just a great film from beginning to end. It's an emotional roller coaster, I'll say that much. At the beginning it was sad, and then there's some just wow moments and moments that really made me smile, and then the ending is very sad as well. It really sort of affected me more than most James Bond films do. The only one I can really compare it to as far as emotional content is On Her Majesty's Secret Service. For some reason I always sort of shed a tear at the end of On Her Majesty's Secret Service when Bond gets married, and then subsequently Diana Rigg, who plays Bond's wife, gets killed at the end of that movie. It's the only movie that sort of has that effect on me in the Bond franchise. But this film really sort of played with the emotions, and I loved it. Yeah, what else can I say about it? It's just a stunning film. It really is. It's a great looking movie. The dialogue is great. The action scenes are amazing. But the emotional core of the film is really Judi Dench and James Bond's relationship. And it's sort of what I was hoping for when Casino Royale came out. I know a lot of people love Casino Royale. I like it. It's a very good film. But I was sorely disappointed in the sort of direction the Bond franchise took. It didn't feel like a proper Bond movie to me. And I know it's more of an origin story now that I think about it. But this film, Skyfall, really felt like a proper Bond movie, but on the level of something like The Dark Knight. It's Best Picture worthy, in my opinion. I'd be actually quite surprised if it didn't get a Best Picture nomination in either the Golden Globes or the Academy Awards. It's that good. It's so well done. I can't say enough good things about it. It's my favorite movie of the year so far, and I think this year has been very good. It's got some tough competition coming up. Films like Lincoln and Silver Linings Playbook, Argo, which is one of my favorites as well. Yeah, it's just a fantastic movie. If you're a Bond fan, you should love it. It sort of wiped the sour taste of Quantum of Solace as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, it's just a fantastic movie. So thank you for watching and watching me ramble through 20 odd minutes of Bond. But I felt like I had to do a review of it. Yeah, check out Preston's channel in the link below. He's an awesome guy. And thank you for watching as always. And until next time, I'll see ya.
Bond. James Bond.